When a massive orca became stranded on a New Zealand shoreline, a crowd quickly gathered, unsure of what to do. What happened next stunned everyone, unfolding into an experience none of them would ever forget. It was early morning at Marlborough Beach, New Zealand. The first rays of sunlight had just begun to spread across the sand when locals stumbled upon a heartbreaking sight. There, stretched out on the beach, lay an enormous orca. Its sleek black and white body shimmered in the dawn light, but the stillness in its form told a troubling story. The killer whale was helpless. News of the stranded giant spread rapidly through the small coastal town. Word traveled faster than the tide, and soon the beach was filling with people, faces marked by worry and disbelief. Interestingly, this wasn't the first orca encounter the area had seen lately. Just the day before, beachgoers had been thrilled by a pod of orcas swimming unusually close to shore. These were no small creatures, each one nearly the length of a school bus, moving with perfect coordination, like an underwater ballet troupe. Some dived deep, others skimmed the surface, likely tracking fish through the shallows. Spectators watched in awe. Children pointed and gasped as the orcas displayed their agility and grace. The pod stayed near shore for hours, mesmerizing everyone. As the sun began to set, they slowly disappeared into deeper waters, leaving behind a beach full of inspired onlookers. No one could have guessed that less than 24 hours later, one of those majestic creatures would be stranded on that same beach, fighting for its life. The community quickly bonded with the whale, giving her a name, Luna. This wasn't just any stranded animal. Orcas are among the most intelligent creatures on Earth. Their brains are large and intricately wired, comparable to dolphins, chimpanzees, even humans. They're problem solvers. They remember faces. They learn and teach. Scientists often refer to orcas as the wolves of the sea. They hunt in packs, using complex strategies and sharing skills across generations. Some even beach themselves temporarily to catch seals, only in spots where they know they can slide back into the sea. So how could such a brilliant creature make such a fatal mistake? The answer likely lay beneath the surface. When orcas hunt, they fixate intensely on their prey. Luna may have chased a fish too close to the shoreline, unaware of how quickly the tide was dropping. The retreating water and shifting sandbanks may have sealed her fate, pushing her farther onto land. Even with all their intelligence, orcas can't read tide charts or see shifting sandbars. But right now, how she got there mattered less than what could be done. Could Luna still be saved? In the deep ocean, orcas are powerful beyond measure. They swim faster than Olympic athletes, dive deeper than submarines, and communicate across vast distances. But on land, Luna was vulnerable, her strength rendered useless on the dry sand. As the morning sun climbed higher, the danger grew. The orca's dark skin absorbed the heat quickly. In the ocean, the water keeps orcas cool. But here on the beach, the sun was relentless, and Luna was overheating. More people arrived, each asking the same desperate question: how can we help? Realizing the urgency, the crowd sprang into action. A plan began to take shape. Some dashed home and returned with buckets. They filled them with seawater and carefully poured the cool water over Luna's massive body. This served two critical purposes. It kept her skin wet and helped regulate her temperature. Others soaked large sheets and towels in seawater, gently placing them over her to block the sun. But despite their best efforts, Luna's condition began to deteriorate. Orca skin is smooth, almost rubbery, and it must stay moist. No matter how much water they poured, her skin started to dry. Her breathing, steady at first, became rapid and shallow. She was clearly struggling. Her eyes changed too. At first, they were bright and alert, watching the humans around her with curiosity, even intelligence. But now they seemed to dim. The light in them faded, as if Luna was slipping away, growing too tired to engage with the world around her. That sight pushed the crowd into overdrive. People who had come just to watch dropped everything and joined the rescue. Some jumped into the waterline, passing buckets from hand to hand. Others held wet sheets in place, shielding Luna from the burning sun. Even children joined in. Some ran to nearby shops for bottled water to keep volunteers hydrated. Others organized supplies, making sure nothing was out of reach when needed. But it was becoming clear, this couldn't go on forever. Luna needed more than water. She needed to return to the ocean, and fast. But how do you move something that weighs as much as a truck? An adult orca can weigh up to 6 tons, the same as a large elephant or a full-sized pickup. No matter how determined the volunteers were, pushing Luna back into the sea with sheer human strength wasn't possible. Their first idea seemed promising. A nearby fishing boat volunteered to tow Luna out to deeper water. The plan was straightforward. Carefully secure ropes around her body, attach them to the boat, and gently pull her toward the open sea. The boat captain was ready. The ropes were prepared. Spirits were high, but nature had its own agenda. Loudspeaker quick interruption before the story continues. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us share more amazing stories like this one. Thank you. When they tried to carry out the boat plan, the sea was anything but calm. Rough waves battered the shoreline, pushing the boat back each time it attempted to get close. The captain made 3 separate tries. Each time, the waves forced him to retreat. Getting too close could cause the boat to run aground, and then they'd have 2 stranded giants on their hands. The ropes were another issue. Out of the water, an orca's skin becomes incredibly delicate. What seems like a gentle pull on land could press painfully into her body, like a tight rubber band cutting into your skin. One wrong move could injure Luna further. The team wasn't willing to take that chance. After the boat plan was scrapped, someone offered another idea. Dig a channel through the sand to the sea, a sort of mini river to help the water reach Luna and lift her. The logic made sense. With a flowing path to the ocean, maybe she could float her way back. Immediately, 20 people grabbed shovels and got to work. But beach sand has a mind of its own. Every time they dug, the walls collapsed. The more they shoveled, the more the sand filled back in. It was like trying to dig a tunnel in quicksand. Even when they widened the trench, the same thing happened. And in the few sections they managed to keep open, the incoming water was far too weak. It trickled in, barely enough to soak the sand, let alone move a 6-ton whale. Both plans failed, but these failures revealed something important. The rescuers realized they couldn't force nature to bend to their will. They had to work with it. That's when a new plan emerged: wait for the high tide. It was the most natural solution. As the ocean slowly returned, it would bring the water needed to lift Luna's weight. Until then, their focus was to keep her cool, calm, and alive. But time was running out. Every hour on land increased the risk. And there was another urgent concern. Orcas never travel alone. They live in tightly bonded families called pods. Pod isn't just a group. It's a lifelong connection. Mothers, fathers, siblings, and even grandparents stay together, hunting, traveling, and communicating using unique sounds, almost like their own secret language. Luna's pod was likely out in the deeper water, calling for her. Orcas feel deep distress when separated from their families. Rescuers noticed that Luna would occasionally make low, mournful sounds. They believed she was trying to call back to her pod. That's why everyone on the beach worked with such intensity. They weren't just saving a whale, they were reuniting a family. Marine experts on the scene also knew that if Luna made it back to the ocean, her pod would likely come to her aid. Orcas have been known to care for sick or injured pod members, swimming beside them and even nudging them up for air if needed. But all that depended on one thing: getting Luna off the beach. If they failed, Luna might never see her family again. As the hours passed, Luna's energy waned. Her once active body had grown still. Her breathing became slow and shallow. The crowd fell silent, watching in growing despair. Some people cried openly. It seemed that, despite all their efforts, they were going to witness a heartbreaking end. Then it happened. The tide, finally on their side, began to creep in. The first wave touched Luna's tail. A twitch. It was small, barely noticeable, but it was enough. Luna had been waiting. She hadn't given up. She had been conserving her strength for this moment. The rescue team sprang into action. As the water began to rise, they gently rocked Luna's body, helping the seawater flow underneath. Orcas are incredibly sensitive to the feel of currents, and Luna could sense where the deeper ocean lay. For a few long minutes, nothing seemed to change, but the team stayed steady, swaying her rhythmically. Slowly, Luna began to respond. She started to move with the water. Her tail flicked again, this time with purpose. The ocean was calling, and Luna was listening. Luna wasn't panicking. She wasn't thrashing in fear or resisting the hands around her. Instead, she was working with the rescuers, using the rising tide to help lift her heavy body. This moment, this gentle cooperation, proved why orcas are considered some of the smartest creatures in the ocean. Most wild animals would react with fear if touched by humans, but not Luna. Somehow, she seemed to understand that these people, strangers from the shore, were fighting to save her life. When rescuers nudged her to one side, she shifted with them. When they guided her toward deeper water, she followed as best she could. It was as if she understood what they were trying to do and chose to trust them. Volunteers, now standing waist-deep in the surf, pushed and pulled with every ounce of strength they had. It was exhausting and dangerous work. One swing of Luna's massive tail could injure someone badly. But no one hesitated. No one walked away. They had come this far. They weren't about to stop now. Finally, after hours of effort, Luna reached the point where she could float. And then, with the tide now fully in, she could do what she was made to do: swim. The moment was still, tense. Everyone on the beach held their breath. Luna hovered in the water, almost motionless, like she was taking a final second to gather her strength, or perhaps say goodbye. Then, with a sudden surge, her tail drove downward, and she shot forward into the ocean. The beach erupted. Cheers and applause rang out. People embraced. Some cried, others laughed. Relief flooded the shore. Luna was free, but she wasn't finished yet. Instead of heading straight for the open sea, she turned, circling back toward the people who had just saved her. For one heart-stopping second, some feared she might beach herself again. But Luna had something else in mind. She swam parallel to the shore, her towering dorsal fins slicing through the surf. Then, in a burst of strength, she breached, launching her body out of the water and spinning in midair. It was breathtaking. Orcas breached to communicate, to signal joy, or to share something important with their pod. Luna's leap wasn't random. It meant something. It was her way of telling the world, "I'm okay." She didn't do it just once. She breached 3 times, each leap higher than the last. Water exploded in every direction, drenching those closest to the surf. The crowd gasped. Then came more cheers, louder than before. These weren't just splashes. They were celebrations. Orcas are one of the few animals known to play simply for the joy of it. Luna's jumps were proof that not only had she survived, she was thriving. And she wasn't just playing. She was saying thank you. After the final breach, Luna began to swim toward deeper water. Her movements were smooth, purposeful. She wasn't lost. She knew exactly where she was going. Orcas have incredible memories and built-in navigation abilities, like an internal compass. They remember sea routes for years and pass that knowledge down to younger pod members. The crowd watched her go. Her dorsal fin, as tall as a grown adult, stayed visible for a while. Each orca's fin is unique, like a fingerprint. Luna's fin cut a clean path through the waves until it finally disappeared into the blue. She was heading home. As the ocean reclaimed its rhythm and quiet returned to the beach, the impact of what had just happened began to settle in. Strangers hugged, people cried, volunteers shared water, snacks, and stories. They had come together, worked as one, and done something extraordinary. They had saved a life. In the days that followed, Luna's story spread far beyond Marlborough Beach. News outlets picked it up. Videos went viral. Marine biologists praised the rescue, marveling at Luna's calm behavior and cooperation. From a desperate struggle to a triumphant return to the sea, Luna's story became a shining example of what can happen when humans act with compassion, courage, and unity. Speech balloon, did the story move you? Would you have stepped in to help Luna, even with all the risks? Have you ever rescued an animal from danger or watched someone else do it? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. Pushpin if you enjoyed this incredible moment of connection between people and nature. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Sometimes the most powerful moments in life arrive when we least expect them. Waterwave, thank you for watching, and see you in the next story. Have a wonderful day.